A lot of people think that miracles ended when the Bible was completed. You know, the Bible says at the end of it that you shouldn't add anything or take anything away from it. And yet the Bible also says that greater things would be done following Christ's departure in the flesh and going to heaven than have been done here. So I think bigger miracles are happening now than ever before. And we should be surprised by that because God says so. When I was in Alaska about a year ago preaching, we had a series of meetings that went over about 4 or 5 nights. And the man who led the music could not sing very well. He obviously had something wrong with his throat. So I was kind of taken aback when I arrived that somebody who sang so poorly was leading the music. But we were singing and trying to do the best we could support him. I found out after the service that he had throat cancer. And he was in remission, but it had damaged his vocal cords or ability to the point that he would probably never sing again. Every night before the service, we had several nights, he prayed. We prayed for Alan. And that God would somehow restore his ministry. He was a singer who couldn't sing because of cancer. And the last night of the revival, I mean right before it ended, I did not get a chance to talk to Alan before the last service began. So I went out into the service and I was sitting on the front seat, and Alan got up to start the service and welcome the guests and things like that. And he opened his mouth and he began to sing like a bird. Beautiful, spectacular, breathtaking. And everybody in the audience who knew him they were kind of looking around and going, wow, is this the same man? Well, it was the same man. But God had worked a miracle in his life. He was able to sing like he had sung before. I believe in miracles. We shouldn't be surprised that God is still working miracles today. And some of them are medical miracles. Some of them are deliverance miracles of people who have been addicted. Some of them are overcoming miracles of people who have been beaten down by the circumstances of life. But make no mistake about it, there are things that happen on earth for which there is no earthly explanation. That's a miracle. And God is in the miracle business.
You know, sometimes I feel like I should just grow in my spirit because, you know, body, mind, spirit
Yes.
is so related. Like, but when you went to heaven, your body was there too, and your mind.
Well, it's actually in stages. The Bible says that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. But it also says there'll come a time at the end of time when all things have been completed, when we will have glorified bodies. Glorified bodies. And that means the earth will give up the dead. The sea will give up the dead. Those who have been cremated will be reconstituted. And we will have a glorified body. Most of us who've lived on earth a while know our body is not glorified. We have scars. We have injuries. We have diseases that hurt us, that sap away our strength and energy. And eventually, of course, this earthly body dies in an earthly sense. But that would never happen in heaven. Perfect bodies, perfect health, no pain, no hurting, no tears, no dying, no night. And so there's coming a day when we have that glorified body. But I was in heaven immediately. When I died, I was there. It was an instantaneous thing for me. Last breath here, first breath there. So it was an experience. I can't wait to go back. You know, I didn't want to really come back here. But and it's a miracle. I acknowledge that it's a miracle. I had nothing to do with my survival. I didn't pray to live. I wasn't suicidal, but I didn't want to live. But the reality of it is, God spared me.
I have one last question. What is the meaning of life?
A life is a gift from God, to be lived fully. You know, the Bible says that our life is like a twinkling in God's eyes. It's like a vapor. And that is an indication of just how brief and fragile it is. It's supposed to be lived in a meaningful way. Since it is a gift, it's something we should take and rejoice in and use to the glory of God. At the end of time, those who know the Lord will be welcomed home. And the Bible says the words we want to hear are, well done, my good and faithful servant. And that tells us that our life is to be lived to the glory of God. And if we do, that's the meaning of life. Because we'll approach that gate and God will look at us and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Enter into your just reward.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.